Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. It is May 8th. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm going to get started with the before market close video. If anybody does have any ticker requests, as always, please let me know. But we do have some red here in the market today. We're pulling back on the weekly time frame, and this was sort of to be expected. There's no major red flags at the moment so far, but obviously the possibility of a recession, a depression, and the whole banking system really starting to collapse. Lots of speculation, lots of macroeconomic experts saying that this could be worse than 2008, and obviously that's spooking some of the market, right? But like I said, based on how the level of that uncertainty and that bearishness and that sentiment and that narrative, we're still just barely starting weekly consolidation here on Bitcoin. So the moral of the story is we're finally starting weekly consolidation. We had 2 weekly inside bars, so we were tightening up. We actually had 3 if you just negate this little slight blip there, but it is still a bull flag. So as long as 26,694 holds, it's still a potential weekly bull flag. And then in order to confirm, we need to break resistance there at 31,050, and then we would be targeting about 42,000 on Bitcoin. So again, no major red flags. We'll see how well bulls can defend that support there at 26,694 and maintain that potential for a weekly bull flag. But if we do lose that support there at the 0.382 fib, then that's going to be a cause for concern. Then we'll be watching 25,000 and then 23,000 as the next potential targets. I'd be worried if we lost 20,000, but as of right now, it's just healthy. So don't be surprised if we do pull back to around the $25,000 to $23,000 mark on this weekly consolidation. But again, anything over that 0.382 fib there at 26,000 is a potential weekly bull flag. In terms of movers and shakers on the day today, we have LBC and BTC shorts, and followed by Cell Token. And on the bear list, we have GMX, ZIL, and Mara. Filecoin also down over double digits today, so starting weekly consolidation in a big way. And then if we zoom out to the monthly, starting monthly consolidation. So we have the low, high, looking for a higher low, and then a higher high to give us that monthly uptrend, but still some work to do there on that front. All right, moving on, taking a look at the S&P 500 in the broader market. So on the monthly time frame, we are holding EMA 12 here, but if we take a look at the weekly time frame, like Bitcoin, it's weekly inside bars, but no weekly consolidation yet. So we are holding up better than the crypto space at the moment. And the low of last week there at 403.74 will be support going forward. And SPY is also a potential weekly bull flag here to perfection. So we have the low, high, higher, low. And then if we can see another higher high here, break 417.62, then we'll see that continuation. And we can be targeting about 439 here on the S&P 500. One thing I wanted to show is an update on the .com fractal. So you can see here, I took this fractal right here and placed it in the .com fractal and the everything bubble fractal. And you can see here, I've been saying for a while that I expected us to deviate from it just because of the fact that the landscape has changed drastically since the .com days. They weren't printing trillions of dollars, and they weren't artificially propping up the market, right? Also, Congress still yet to be banned from owning stocks, which it has been said that experts believe that it could be in the next 6 months. So that could put us into around the end of the year. And like I said, I've been very bearish on stocks into the end of the year and then into the beginning of 2024. So I think we could be due for one last massive rally. And I've been saying for a while now that I would expect us to deviate from this fractal because of how manipulated the market is. Congress still has yet to be banned. And like I said, just all these trillions of dollars of liquidity going into the market, right? So we were following it verbatim. We had pretty much everything to a T. And then here we are. We were supposed to start to trend lower at this time based on, again, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's just, this has happened before. It might rhyme, right? So we had this inverse head and shoulders here as well on the monthly time frame, which would give us a new all-time high. And wouldn't be surprised, the Fed banned themselves from owning stocks back here at the all-time high. They didn't do it here. They didn't do it here. So if you think Congress is going to ban themselves, where do you think Congress is going to ban themselves? Do you think they're going to do it here or here? I highly doubt that. I think they're going to probably get this inverse head and shoulders type of move, and we could potentially set a new all-time high, which would bring us into around the 480, upper 480s, and then they ban themselves up here, right? Because they're crooks at the highest level. So that's what we'll potentially see. And again, starting to deviate just like I've been expecting from this .com fractal. So very interesting stuff. And then DXY, still a month. It's a monthly inside bar, a weekly inside bar, and I believe a daily inside bar. Oh, actually, yeah, it's back within the previous day's range, but we started daily consolidation, so we lost it just barely. But like I said, weekly inside bar and monthly inside bar, it's going to be very telling which way this monthly inside bar breaks. So key resistance, and the number one chart right now that we need to be paying attention to is this chart, the DXY, the US dollar index. So if we break resistance at 103.05, that is the key resistance. If we break that resistance, we start the monthly bounce for the first time in 2 months. If we lose that support at 178, then we're going to see monthly downtrend confirmation continuation. And then we're going to also see confirmation and continuation of the monthly bear flag. So if we lose that support, that is going to be massive for crypto and stocks. And the measured move is about 93 on the dollar. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see the U.S. banking system collapse and really the whole financial system start to, to enter turmoil. We could easily see DXY in the low 90s, in my opinion. So that's going to be the key important chart, major chart going forward here over the next couple of months. Gold convincingly over 2,000 here this morning. All-time high at 2,070. Wouldn't be surprised if we hit 3,000 here over the next couple of months as well, especially if we see the dollar break down. Looks like the landscape for gold to thrive right now is looking really, really good. In terms of individual names today, we have VEGA, Riot, EH, and Hive leading the decline. On the bull list, we have INSG, Fubo, and Space. INSG, gee whiz. It crushed on EPS. And slight beat there in terms of revenue, but this was a massive trade opportunity here, down at 46 cents, up 164%. This one deals with 5G. Tesla, so monthly inside bar, just tightening range. And on the weekly time frame, we're actually breaking to a weekly higher high. So showing some strength relative to the rest of the market, but most important chart or most important time frame on this chart right now is the monthly. With the low, high, higher, low, we're looking for a higher high to give us a monthly uptrend. So we need to break 217.65 to give us that. And then we'll be very confident in Tesla being strong going forward. But as of right now, we're still in a monthly downtrend, and we're just looking for this higher low and higher high. This higher low will be set once we confirm a weekly uptrend. And if we zoom into the weekly, we're nowhere near confirming a daily uptrend. We have the high, low, lower high, and lower low. So anything under 207.79 on this weekly bounce is just a weekly lower high. So in order to negate the weekly downtrend, we would need to break 207.79 resistance. And in order to confirm a weekly uptrend, we need this high, which we're forming now, then a higher low, then a higher high. So we still got quite a bit of work to do here, at least a few weeks worth of work before we can be confident that the monthly higher low is set and that we're potentially heading up to 217.65 resistance. Just checking in on the news that just came out here. I also wanted to bring up the earnings for this week real quick. Garlinghouse of Ripple CEO will spend $200 million defending itself against the SEC. Wow. Well, that's what you got to do. Pay to play, right? That's the way the system works. That's why all these pharmaceutical companies lobby the government to the tune of billions and trillions of dollars, is because it's a pay to play system, right? You got to give them what they want, and what they want is money and power. Because the system is corrupt. Defending itself. Wow, that is wild. 200 million. But that'll just be a small blip in the radar once they get legal clarity. In terms of earnings today, yes, we have PayPal after market close today. That'll be the big one. Airbnb tomorrow. I'll be interested in that one as well. That's pretty much it. Not seeing anything else. Yeah, those are the big ones. Apple, Jim Cramer has tweeted twice about it over the weekend. Yeah, so question there from Oddflex. Yeah, so it's looking like it could break down. We're getting close to weekly overbought, and if Jim Cramer's tweeting about it, then it's probably I'm not sure what he said, but they did that 90 billion share buyback as well, and they crushed their earnings. So that's why we're up so much, but we're touching almost at weekly overbought. And share buybacks can be a good thing, but not always. So if they're buying it back at a price that's higher than the intrinsic value of the company, then it could be perceived as a bad thing. And right now, I would say that we're higher than the intrinsic value. I'd say, I didn't run the numbers like price to earnings or anything like that, but I mean, just looking at the chart, I would think that we are overvalued, right? Because we're at all-time highs. I mean, that's crazy, right? To think about that. While a lot of other names are nowhere near all-time highs, especially, the S&P 500 and stuff. Look at Apple. Apple's all-time high is 181.61 factoring in post-split. And we just hit 174. So we're about $7, $8 away from all-time highs here on Apple. So I wouldn't be buying this thing. I'd be looking to short it. And look at what I've been saying in the last updates leading into their earnings. I said we still have yet to start monthly consolidation. So we still haven't yet to confirm a monthly higher low and higher high to give us a monthly uptrend. I showed you on Tesla. Tesla has already started its monthly consolidation, right? With the big move with low, high, higher, low. Now we're looking for a higher high, but we got that higher low that we knew would be inevitable and would be coming soon. So what do you think is going to happen to Apple, right? It's been almost 6 months without a higher low. So don't be surprised if we pull back. In order to start monthly consolidation like Tesla, we'd have to lose the low of last month there at 159.78 over the next 23 days. So just to lose that low, we would have to drop 8%. And then from there, from the high, don't be surprised. Like if we start monthly consolidation and we lose key support at 159.78, don't be surprised if we pull back from there, another 10 to 15% as we scout a monthly higher low. How much did Tesla pull back from its massive move off the top during its monthly consolidation? Almost 30%, right? So if we expect something similar for Apple, if this is the high, it all depends if we keep going from there, then we essentially give that whole move back. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to more than likely form a higher low. We got tons of room to do so. But we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on Apple as well. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows right now. But it is one of the most strongest charts out there, and that's very evident given the fact that we're like almost $8 away from all-time high, right? We had a golden cross too. We had the death cross, and then we crashed quite a bit, and then here we are, almost had a golden cross, fake out, bull trap. Then we got the real move. Now we're seeing a golden cross with the 50 coming up through the 200-day moving average. But again, just happened here not too long ago, and then we went on a massive run. So I'd be less inclined to stay in this for the long term or for any length of time, given the fact that we're getting close to all-time high, and we had a massive run over the everything bubble 2022 and through 2020 and 2022. So I'd be looking to lock in profits, if not go short. Especially when Jim Cramer's tweeting about it, it's probably not a good thing. What was it, First Republic Bank or something like that? He tweeted about it saying, "Oh, this company's sound," and then like 2 days later, it went belly up. So the guy's an absolute joke. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at Canadian MJ here. So on the bear list, we have XTRX, Labs, and Huge. And on the bull list, we have WIB, IMCC, and HMMJ, followed by Tilray. Not a whole lot of green out there today. Hexo just chilling. Did break to a daily higher high, 153. Next resistance, 192. Tilray chilling as well. But don't be surprised, we still have yet to start daily. We could easily pull back on Tilray 10 to 15%, 10 to 20%, and still be in a daily uptrend. That's how these moves happen, right? Especially with the Senate banking, the hearing scheduled for safe banking this week. So it's tentative for May 11th. A lot of speculation that we could potentially see a meeting between Ripple and the SEC today as well, fueling speculation talks. But I'm in the camp of thinking that we're not going to see a settlement until a judgment comes out. So I think we're going to get a judgment from Judge Torres, and then depending on that outcome, it could be a settlement could come after that. So we might find that Ripple wins, or the SEC wins, or they both split the baby and they both get a win, or however it plays out. and then a settlement could come. I think that's the most likely scenario. In terms of USMJ, on the bull list we have Ian, BAM, and FIT, and on the bear list we have MedMen, PLTH, and CCHW. So MSOS, I've been calling this one out, saying this was a nice opportunity for a trade. I said if you missed this 20% opportunity, here we are down 12%, and we could potentially see another 20% opportunity leading into this hype from the meeting this week for safe banking, and then sure enough, another 20%. So if you missed that 20%, here's another opportunity, and that's exactly what happened. So congrats to those who played that move. But I think that, playing off $5 psychological support, we got to 505. So if you set your stop at, even 494, you would have been good. Or, I'd allow some wiggle room. So I would suggest 474 if you're using a larger amount of capital. I said, 494 or 444, something like that, just to protect against any stop loss hunting. So wiggle room can be beneficial, and then playing off $5 psychological. And like I said, this could be a 100 to 200% trade up from off the low there, playing off that support there at $5. It's 100% upside just to EMA 12 on the monthly time frame. Price action's 183%, and then EMA 26 is about 264%. So lots of upside potential here. Finally starting the monthly bounce as well, having broken 604 resistance here on MSOS. So this one's looking real good. But anything under 1460 still a monthly lower high, and we're still in a downtrend. Yeah, great bank. That guy's such a joke. All right, Alicia would like to take a look at SNDL, so let's do that. On the NASDAQ, I believe it was. Yep. Also just checking in on any news that just came up here. Nothing major. Lots of chatter from Warren Buffett going on. I wouldn't be surprised if he was no longer in a leadership position soon. And yeah, big news in that Ripple spending $200 million defending themselves against the SEC. What a bunch of BS! Like $200 million, and then how many billions did they hurt of retail investors when they brought that lawsuit against Ripple? So yeah, crazy times we live in, but it's just the way it is, right? But I think that they're going to come out of this ahead, and then they still got like $1 billion in cash, and they're just going to take over the world. The only company that would spend that much money is Ripple, because they're the only one that has that much money, right, to do so. They have the resources, and they're just swimming in it. And I think they're at escape velocity. They're just going to continue to impress. They're going to continue to just take the world by storm. So looking forward to the next few years. Then when Ripple IPOs and goes public, man, that's going to be a great day. My goal right now, my number one goal, is to finally hit that accredited investor status and be able to buy Ripple equity. So Ripple, the private company, not XRP, the public digital currency. I'm looking to get accredited so that I can buy Ripple private equity and buy actual shares in the private company Ripple. And then before it goes public, right? Because as we know, once it goes public, that's usually where, things are completely inflated, right? And exaggerated to the upside, and then we see a big crash, right? So my goal is to get into Ripple and buy Ripple private equity before it goes public. Hopefully sometime over the next 6 months I can get that done, 6 to 12 months, and then hopefully Ripple, the longer Ripple holds off on going public and IPOing, the better for me, and the better for anybody who has yet to hit that accredited investor status. And what is it in Canada? Accredited. That's the SEC. How do I register? Let's do requirements. An individual who either alone or with a spouse beneficially owns aggregate financial assets of more than $1 million before taxes, but net of any related liabilities. A person registered in Canada under securities legislation as a dealer or an advisor. In the U.S., it's a little different. So 200,000, and then yeah, I think Canada might be. I thought there was like a yearly salary as well, like the U.S. Individual accredited investor requirements. So yeah, aggregate financial assets over 1 million, be a dealer or an advisor, net assets of more than 5 million, before tax income over $200,000. So an individual who has before tax income over $200,000 for at least 2 years with a spouse and expects to exceed that income in current calendar year. So those are the criteria there. Yeah. So that is my goal. And I think it's very realistic. But take a look at SNDL here. So SNDL up 0.5% today. We're starting the monthly bounce just like MSOS, like I just showed you. So once we broke 163 resistance, that indicated that the monthly bounce was underway. And we're just looking for a lower high compared to 336. So we could easily see about 90% of upside just to the next price action resistance. But we hit the low there at 129, and then 138 was the low previous to that. So we did hit a new all-time low here on the NASDAQ. So that is notable, but pretty much par for the course right now in MJ. But we're starting the monthly bounce, and this was another good opportunity playing off $1 psychological. We didn't quite get there. We hit 128, right? So 129, I guess it was. So we're 29 cents away from that $1 mark. So wasn't a bad idea to start scaling in, playing off that support, but did offer some risk, but definitely a lot of reward as well. In terms of the weekly time frame, so weekly inside bar, we need to break 175 to continue the weekly bounce for the second week in a row. And we did have a weekly bear flag, it looks like here. Not sure if I drew that yet. No, doesn't look like I did. So you go low to the high, high to the low, move it out to the 0.382 fib. It was saying that we could be targeting about 106. So again, playing off that $1 psychological, but we never quite got there. So we came within. From that, we came about 17% away. Doesn't mean we have to get there. We could still get there. That's a possibility. But on the daily time frame, I'd be cautious with this one because we're hitting daily overbought, and we've yet to change the daily trend. This move's all coming off the low here. So this 35% moves all coming off the low without a daily higher low and without a daily uptrend confirming. So the simple statement will be when we lose the previous day low, then expect some decent consolidation. It's probably not going to happen today. 6 minutes left. I would wager a bet that it's not. But key support will be the low of the day today. So assuming the low of the day today is 166 here in 6 minutes, that'll be the new key support going forward into tomorrow. If we lose that tomorrow, don't be surprised if we pull back 5 to 10%. We could even pull back 20% and still just be looking for a daily higher low. So that's what I'd be looking for. But on this consolidation, anything over 158 would be a daily bull flag. And it's too early to tell whether or not this would be a bull flag, but if we do see that play out, we could see something, a move up to around that $2.13 mark. And again, that would probably line up well with some positive safe banking outcomes from the meeting potentially this week. But in terms of the weekly time frame, SNDL is looking really, really good. We had a weekly candle close over the 10-week moving average. And then we're seeing a bull cross of the stochastic and the MACD. We did it here, but we came back down. We did it here, and then we came back down the rest of the sector. So the more names that have weekly candle closes over their 10-week moving average that have bull crosses on the MACD and the stochastic macro indicators, then we'll be confident. And it's looking really, really good here for SNDL. Could easily see a move back up to the mid-twos in the not-too-distant future. In terms of the weekly time frame, we did have that bear cross out of the way, and now we're potentially set up for these to curl and to start to go the other way and see it bull cross. And that would likely take multiple months before that would happen. So nothing to get your hopes up there. But in terms of the daily time frame, we are gearing up for a potential golden cross as well. But again, probably not going to happen for a couple of months at least. So the 50 below the 200-day moving average. The last time that happened, price went from about, let's see here, not sure why this isn't, there we go. Price set around $5, and then it went to around $38, factoring in post-split. And then we had the death cross, 50-day cross above, down through the 200. That's a death cross. Price at that time was around $8, and then we went all the way down to low ones. And here we are potentially seeing another golden cross just like we are here, but we're way beaten down this time around, right? So this could provide tons of opportunity, but again, it's probably going to be a couple months before we see that play out. And yeah, posted this in the group, but check out this amazing new strains. So you got Blueberry OG, 25.7%, which is higher than their infused Wappa, which is crazy. And then pretty soon we're going to have the new TNT strains as well. So we could see like Animal Runts and Violet Fog in here. But Animal Runts is pushing 30 to 36% THC. And that's without infused, any oil infused or anything like that. And then $19 at Canna Cabana downtown Edmonton. Patrick never likes the cheap price. But what a great time to be alive and not living in Quebec. So, but yeah, packaged on March 28, 2023, 25.7%. That is wild. And then, yeah, the new Filter Tech. And I tested it out. Works really, really well. It's also like really strong. And, some people like to wet their lips whenever they, if you're sharing it or whatever, or what have you. And it's just an overall amazing product. And so many people are commenting, "Oh, I can't believe you're still promoting the Reddies. Like, there's so many other competitors out there." Well, this was the number one. Most of the competitors still have 0.35 grams in each unit. This one has 0.4. This one's got new Filter Tech, and the quality's better. The quality of the bud's better, higher percentage THC than the competitors, and it's just getting better and better. They have the new, Sully Slims and the Rip and Darts that they make for Tilray. They have the new legendary, I think it was OG Kush for the new Tyson T2.0. So they're light years ahead. And they just continue to innovate, and yeah, the stuff doesn't fall out from the tip, right? I noticed that with a lot of the competitors, it would just you pull it out of the pack, it would start to drop like some of the shake or some of the bud out of the actual end of the joint. So quality, definitely number one with the Reddies, and it was the original straight edge pre-roll, right? So, all right, going to end it there. Just taking a look at SPY here one more time real quick. So still just hovering around 412 where we were earlier. But going to end it there, not seeing any of the ticket requests. So I hope you have a great night. We'll probably get some videos out after market close. But we'll talk to everybody in the chat room in a little bit. Take care. Talk to you soon.